We often hear believers claim that belief is a choice. We're constantly told that we've chosen not to believe, and we're often accused of having hidden motivations for rejecting God. According to this view, we don't really lack belief, we secretly don't want to believe. This idea comes from sermons, apologetics, and passages in the Bible that portray unbelief as a moral choice. But belief isn't a choice, not even for believers. We all become convinced of what we believe. In fact, if belief were simply a choice, apologetics wouldn't exist. Think about it. Christians don't usually tell atheists, just choose to believe. Instead, they present arguments. They appeal to prophecy, the resurrection, fine-tuning, morality, personal experience, or historical evidence. Why? Because they're trying to convince us. They instinctively understand that belief follows persuasion, not willpower. We all believe the sky is blue because that's what we've consistently observed. Someone who is blind or colorblind has to rely on the testimony of others, but the principle is exactly the same. Belief is based on what we consider to be sufficient evidence. So when a believer tells me I'm choosing not to believe while simultaneously trying to convince me with evidence, they're contradicting their own position. If belief were merely a choice, there would be no reason to offer evidence in the first place. The real question isn't whether belief is a choice or not. The real question is what counts as convincing evidence. When it comes to Christianity, my standard naturally becomes much higher because the claims themselves are extraordinary. I'm being asked to believe in an invisible God, invisible spiritual beings, miracles that suspend the normal laws of nature, and an eternal destiny that depends on accepting these claims. I'm told that unless I sincerely believe all of this in my heart, whatever that phrase is supposed to mean, I risk eternal punishment. These are enormous claims. They deserve correspondingly strong evidence. My skepticism doesn't come from a desire to reject God. It comes from what I see as the evidence. When I read the Bible, I see extraordinary claims that I believe conflict with what we've learned through archaeology, geology, biology, cosmology, and other scientific disciplines. I see moral claims about God that I struggle to reconcile with the idea of a perfectly loving and just being. I'm asked to believe that a God who knew every outcome before creation still created a world in which many would suffer eternally according to his own system of judgment. Given all of that, I remain unconvinced, not because I choose to be, because based on my knowledge, experience, and evaluation of the evidence, I have not become convinced. And if better evidence came along tomorrow, I would have no choice but to follow it, just as I would with any other belief. None of this means I'm claiming certainty. Being unconvinced isn't the same as claiming I know God doesn't exist. It simply means I haven't seen enough evidence to justify belief. Thanks, gang.